Basically, it all begins with how we choose to think. As you think, so shall you be. 7 little words that I think are perhaps the most important things that we can learn and master in our lives. This old proverb notion that I become what I think about all day long. And once you know that what you think about is what expands, you start getting real careful about what you think about. You don't allow your thoughts to be on anything that you don't want, or that you wouldn't want to have manifest or show up for you in your life.
Okay, well, if you have some faults and you feel insecure and inferior because of that, well, you should. Now, it shouldn't be so much that you're crippled by it and unable to take action. You shouldn't be beating yourself into the ground because you're not everything you could be, because no one is. And if you beat yourself into the ground, then you can't get up and improve. But you have to differentiate. It's like, okay, to what degree am I being hard on myself? Counterproductively critical, adopting inappropriate stereotypical representations of masculine competence. How much of my self-criticism is ill-advised? Fair enough. And you want to deal with yourself with a certain amount of care. But then, along with that, there's the, well, fix your weaknesses.
Tell people there's a daily practice. Like if you get up and you just have no discipline whatsoever, you get no value of anything. Your diets don't work when you don't do them. Exercise doesn't work when you don't do them. But most of the people have some experiences that they want to shift. And once you shift those things, your whole life changes. But life is constant growth.
Everybody is motivated by 2 different things. One, you have the beautiful things in your life. The flip side of that equation are the things that it's people that doubt you. I find in very acute moments, the darkness serves you better.
How specifically am I going to achieve that goal? Like, what are the strategies and the tactics? Meaning, what are you going to do? How specifically are you going to do it? By when? I'm going to ask myself empowering questions like, how can I overcome this obstacle? What can I do to overcome this obstacle, to manage your mindset and your emotions? What are you going to do to overcome the obstacles that are in your way, whether they're mental obstacles, physical obstacles, financial obstacles, strategical obstacles, tactical obstacles? Well, yeah, if you want to achieve goals, there's a thinking, there is a feeling, and there's a behavior that gets you there.
You can't give away what you don't have. Can't give away love for others if you don't have love in here to give away. If what you have in here is contempt, if what you have in here is anger, if what you have in here is fear, then these are the things you're going to be giving away in your life.
You need a sustaining meaning that's deep and profound, and deep and profound enough to get you through bad times, because there will be very bad times in your life. There'll be death, and there'll be illness, and there'll be disappointment of all sorts. And there'll be just the standard difficulties of life in the world to contend with. And you really must have something that's profound and powerful to set up against that. And I think that your voluntary adoption of the struggle to improve being is the proper antidote to that.
Right now in most people's experience, it is me versus universe. This is how people are experiencing life. Otherwise, why continuous anxiety, fear? They think they are fighting for their life all the time. Why? They are fighting the whole universe. Individual and the universal. Being in competition with the universe is a stupid thing to do.
The thing that will make me love my life the most is to do the things that are fulfilling. And I think fulfillment has a very specific, universal formula. And that formula is work your ass off to get very good at something that you care deeply about, that allows you to serve not only yourself, but other people. That's it.
The simple thing is this. See, if your joy, your sadness, your happiness, your misery is determined by something or somebody around you, the chances of you being joyful in your life is remote.
The core of what really matters, that we are the same. And you know how I know that? Because all of us are seeking the same thing. And we'll go out into the world and each pursue based upon what you believe your talents are, what your skills are, maybe your gifts are, but you're seeking the same thing. Everybody wants to fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself.
Deep down inside, I believe most people on the planet are heartbroken. Why? Because they have betrayed the visions, ambitions, values, mission in their heart. They have betrayed their talent.
One of the things that first comes to mind, if we were just to try to say in a few words, what's mindfulness? A very common response might be, well, it's living in the present moment. It's being in the present. So that's a pretty good beginning. You're all very aware of how much of the time we are lost in thoughts of past and lost in thoughts of future. Sometimes very little time is actually spent in the moment, because of this proliferation of thoughts. Because we can be observing experience, and we often are, through many different filters in the mind. We can be observing experience through the filter of desire. We can be observing things through the filter of anger or aversion, or through the filter of delusion, where there's just a cloudiness. We're observing, we're in that mode, but the observation is being conditioned by the particular mind state